Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Black History. I am your host, Miss Tay Nicole. And in this episode of Let's Talk Black History, we're going to be talking about Black explorers in America before Columbus. Because, yes, there were people in America before Columbus, if you didn't know that. We're going to spend about 6 to 10 minutes discussing a little bit about the explorers in America before Columbus. I will say, do me a favor. Any racial, racist, or bigoted comments are not tolerated in my comment section. Do not bring that here. We are positive here. If you disagree with what I said, just scroll past. But no ignorance will be tolerated. Now back to the show. When we were taught American history, it usually starts with Christopher Columbus in 1492. But today, we're going to talk about the history before the textbooks because Black people didn't just arrive in America through enslavement. We're going to start there. We didn't arrive just because of slavery. We were exploring, navigating, trading in America long before Columbus ever set sail. Once again, welcome back to Let's Talk Black History with Tay Nicole. Let's get into it. So, why this history was hidden? Why do you think the history was hidden? Before I even get into it, why do you think? Eurocentric history erased African achievements. Exploration is framed as a discovery, even though people had already lived here, had already been in America well before Columbus. If Africans were here first, it challenges the narrative of inferiority. See, history doesn't just tell stories, it protects power. Tell me, what do you know about the Moors and the African navigation in America? What do you know? What did you learn in school? What was given to you? Well, let me tell you a little bit. West Africans were expert sailors. Mali, Ghana, Songhai, I think is how you pronounce that. I might be saying it wrong. I'm sorry if I am. Had advanced trade routes. The Moors ruled parts of Europe for centuries. And I do mean centuries. African maps and astronomy influenced later European explorers. My brain, forgive me. So the idea that Africans couldn't sail oceans, that's a complete myth. They were sailing oceans well before we even heard of Columbus, well before Columbus probably even existed. Those myths were created to dim our story, dim our light. Have you heard of Mansa Abu Bakari II? A ruler of Mali. Before Musa abdicated the throne to explore the Atlantic Oceans, sent hundreds of ships westward. Indigenous accounts described Black people as already living in the American or the U.S. territory. Sorry, I got an eyelash. Pardon me. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a planned expedition. This was an already natrified situation. So then you have the Olmecs and the Africans that featured themselves together. The Olmec civilization, which was back in about 1200 BCE, the causal stone heads were with African facial features, is what you probably have seen growing up, and some of you may have not. But anyway, some scholars believe Africans influenced early Mesoamerican cultures. Now, let me clarify. I'm not saying everything started in Africa. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying, Africa was definitely involved. Africa was definitely in the American soil, the United States, before it was even called the United States, before Columbus ever set sail, is what I am saying. So the African presence in an indigenous culture included things like linguistics, similarities, shared farming, techniques, techniques within the farming, lifestyle living, and what have you, cultural blending. Long before Europeans arrived, Black history is American history, even before America had a name. And I'm a down that hill. I don't care what hill you go down, but I'm a down that hill. But I do want you guys to do me a favor. The next time someone says Black people have no history besides slavery, before they say we have no history in exploring or anything of that nature, I want you to remember this. We were explorers before we were enslaved people. If this changed how you see history, do me a favor. Like, comment, and subscribe if you want to this channel. Happy Black History Month to all my Black people. But as we all know, Black history is not just designated to a month. It is a lifestyle. It is history. It is the life that we all are living. Do me a favor in the comments and let me know in the next segment of Let's Talk Black History for next Monday what topic we're going to be talking about next. In the meantime, in between time, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys for listening to me talk. And I appreciate you for giving me at least anywhere between 6 to 10 minutes of your time. Once again, I've been your gracious host, Miss Tay Nicole, and this has been another episode of Let's Talk Black History. Do me a favor, stay peaceful, stay blessed, and let's stay black, baby. Peace out.